If you grew up in a black or African household, you know firsthand that you do not go to the hospital for anything. You could break your leg and you still won't go to the hospital. How do I know this? Because I broke my leg as a child and my parents didn't take me to the hospital. I'm not gonna lie, it was my fault. I jumped off something I should not have been jumping off of. I go over to my parents and I'm like, Mom, I don't think something's right. My leg was twisted out, Mom. That boy was swollen. They proceeded to give me the trying to look if you lying. Look at my leg. I was literally limping for like 6 months. The time it takes, I think, for like a bone to be healed. And the whole while they kept giving me the same look. It's been 4 months, Mom. I'm not trying to make you feel guilty anymore. My leg is broken. It was around month 5 though when I could tell they started to feel a little bad because their started to turn to they thought I was gonna be like that forever. I'm not gonna lie, I was milking it. It was the longest I've ever been committed to anything. It was a battle of wills. Years later, just recently, I demanded an apology from my father, and he gave it to me. So shout out to my dad.
Oh man, don't nobody care about that story. What I'm about to focus on is how he said if you grew up in a black or African household. This man is African, right? And he said if you grew up in a black or African household. Now, wait a second. Every Black History Month, y'all swear that it is about any person from anywhere in the world as long as they got some darker skin, right? And then Black Americans will tell you, well, actually, Black History Month is about us. We created it for us, because in the United States, our history is not taught. It's about us and our history, right? And we literally say, well, until recently, y'all ain't even call yourselves Black. Y'all would say, oh, I know Black Eye Haitian. I know Black Eye this. I know Black Eye whatever, right? Because quite clearly, the term Black is used interchangeably with Black Americans, right? Like, we say this all the time, right? And then y'all act dumb. Y'all think y'all the only Black people around. But then you turn around and you make videos and you say, if you grew up in a Black or African household. So you're saying that African is not Black. You're clearly using Black interchangeably with Black American. Like we been said happens. But then suddenly y'all act confused every Black History Month. Oh, Lord. Let's just get right into this. We have this conversation every single year. Every single year. Black Americans tell you, oh, Black History Month was created by us, for us, and our history, right? It's a time where we talk about our own accomplishments. So it's not about Africans and Caribbeans. And y'all start hooting and hollering about how we have main character syndrome and yada, 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 so and so and so. Whole time, though, June is Caribbean History Month. So y'all spend all of June talking about Caribbeans, but then you think you're supposed to have a second month as well that ain't actually about you, and that Black Americans are never supposed to ever have shit. In fact, wait, hold up a second. I just saw Haitians posted talking about, and this was near the beginning of the year. It may have been like January 1st. They were talking about how they were celebrating, 1804 or whatever. They make some soup that it used to be only the French people could eat, but after they revolted, they started eating it as a in your face, like, oh, you can't tell me what to do, right? When they were having a celebration, I wasn't like, well, actually, this day about, like, all Black people, it's about all of our independence, all of our freedom. So no, that's your day. That's your day. Celebrate your day, your history. That's you, right? So why, when it comes to Black History Month, that we all know is about Black Americans, because again, y'all yourselves use Black and Black American interchangeably, but then you act goofball when it comes to Black History Month, right? When it comes to Black History Month, suddenly, it's for everybody. Oh, Black Americans just so self-centered. They want something to be about them so bad, yada, yada, yada. Like, what? This reminds me, there's this organization in Detroit that I used to donate money to back when I was on my Pan-African flow, yada, 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 right? So the organization is for, I think it's Black immigrants, period. It's not just Africans, okay? So, like, the organization helps them get lawyers and stuff so they can get their citizenship. Because, a lot of them be illegal immigrants and stuff, but they stay in sanctuary cities. Like, I went to school in Michigan State. I got my Michigan State shirt on. And East Lansing is a sanctuary city. So a lot of immigrants come there because the immigration laws are relaxed so they can live there while they're waiting to get a lawyer and whatever, right? So there was this organization in Detroit again that was dedicated to this, right? And one year on Juneteenth, they posted talking about, oh, come to our Juneteenth dinner celebrating the 1 year anniversary of the they said something, the immigrant bail fund something, right? And I was like, what does this have to do with Juneteenth? Like that opened my eyes, because I'm like, what? Nah, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that nobody can do anything on June 19th. Okay, sure. Maybe on June 19th, you happen to create whatever bail fund, and this happens to be the 1-year anniversary of it. Okay, cool. Celebrate that. Have your dinner or whatever you was doing to celebrate it, right? But why are you calling it a Juneteenth celebration? Because that does not have anything to do with Juneteenth. Juneteenth is about Black Americans being freed from slavery, not about you creating whatever bail fund for Africans and Caribbeans. That's not what Juneteenth is, right? But y'all really latch on to everything about Black Americans and try to colonize and gentrify and make it for everybody else. Black Americans are never allowed to have anything that is for us. Now, y'all can have all of y'all stuff that's just for y'all. You know what I'm saying? But as soon as Black Americans have one little thing, it's an issue. Like, y'all have this organization that's about, African and Caribbean immigrants getting lawyers and stuff. Ain't no Black Americans on there, well, Black Americans need lawyers too. Why y'all ain't fundraising for lawyer fees for Black Americans? No, we let y'all have y'all stuff, right? But then you turn around on Juneteenth talking about some Juneteenth is the 1-year celebration of our bail fund for whatever immigrants. What the fuck? Like, the least you could do is pay us the same respect that we pay you when you celebrating your fucking selves. We don't ask to be included in your shit, but you always in ours, trying to turn it into something that it's not. It's crazy to me how Black Americans are the only group that's not allowed to have shit. And you know what? We having a conversation right now about Africans and Caribbeans because they're in a unique place where they are also racially Black, right? So they think it's okay to really colonize and gentrify everything about Black Americans because we share the same race, even though they have all they separate stuff, all they separate celebrations. Like when you go onto a college campus, bro, there's going to be an African student union, a Caribbean student union, yada, 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 right? But then the Black student union, that should be for Black Americans, because we know that Black and Black American are used interchangeably. We all know that. This African dude just exposed y'all for that, right? The Black student union be filled with everybody and their mama. It's never about Black Americans the way that it should be, right? There is never a space for Black Americans to just be with ourselves and just be with our culture and just, talk about our unique issues. No, for some reason, we always got to end up, including everybody in all of our shit. And it's just like, yo, what? And like I said, Africans and Caribbeans are in a unique space where they're racially Black. So they, they really push the lines, right? But everybody in the world does this. It's really not even just Africans and Caribbeans. White Americans do this all the time. Well, how they be talking about AAVE is Gen Z slang. So they'll make a video mocking Gen Z. You know how different generations have beef. Like how younger people used to say, okay, boomer. So like different generations beef and stuff, right? So, millennials or whoever's older than millennials, I don't know the next generation above us because it's not boomers. Boomers are like way older than us, right? But, somebody will make a video mocking the way that Gen Z speaks. But the whole video will be AAVE. And it's like, baby, that's not Gen Z talk. That's Black American talk, right? And it'd be so crazy because they'll really sit there and say, oh, that's Gen Z talk or that's internet slang or something. No, that's internet slang to you because you got on the internet and you sat there and stalked Black spaces and looked at the way that we speak and the way that we type and you imitated it. That's internet slang to you because your weird ass, you got on the internet and stalked us to learn it, right? That's not internet slang to us. That's how we actually talk, right? And it's funny because y'all get on the internet and stalk us and you see us type this stuff out and you start imitating it. But because you see us type it out, you don't actually know how to pronounce it, which explains why y'all was talking about chili instead of child. Like, what? Y'all know Black Americans, we don't say ending sounds for real, right? So instead of saying, woo, child, you're going to say, woo, child, like, I guess, right? So people spell it CHILE, but that's just because, again, we don't say child, we're going to say child. You know what I'm saying? So y'all saw this on the internet and thought we were saying chili, woo, chile. What, bro? Like, that don't even make no damn sense. But yeah, I guess it is internet slang to your stupid ass because the first time you ever saw it expressed was on the fucking internet, and that's why you can't actually use it correctly, like goofball ass. But back to my point though. Again, it's not even just Africans and Caribbeans who are really colonizing and gentrifying everything Black American. It's everybody in this bitch because so much of Black American culture gets colonized and gentrified by white Americans. Like, they talking about soul food and Southern food. This white motherfuckers in the South talk about, yeah, my Meemaw, yeah, she cooks so and so and so. Where your Meemaw get that from? Because I promise you, she didn't get it from Europe. Oh, she got it from them handmaids, them house slaves and shit that was cooking her dinner. Then the craziest thing about all this is the fact that you will play in my face. So when I call something like this out, you will sit there and try to gaslight me. Well, we're all black, so Black History Month is about all of us. But 2 minutes ago, you said if you grew up in a black or African household, so you didn't include yourself as black in that moment. So why you only black some of the time? Like, it's just, it makes no sense to me. It really doesn't make any sense to me at all.